welcome back to What a Hell of a Way to Die News Roundup. Francis again. What happened to these? They kind of fell off because originally I was doing these because Nate was on paternity leave and I kind of needed to fill in little content and everything. But I also really enjoyed doing these, and also I'm just trying to kind of expand beyond the podcast Twitter sphere that we kind of find ourselves stuck in. And YouTube, like I went over all of the different the different social medias that I could have gotten into. You've got TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and I kind of have some things with Instagram and Facebook, but and really on Twitter I post, but I don't really post about the show or any store updates and things like that. So I wanted to have kind of another avenue to go down, just to kind of build up a following with something that's a little bit different than what we're doing on the regular show, the regular podcast. I feel like I've been doing this long enough. People do kind of care about my opinions for some reason. I haven't quite figured out why that is yet, but I do appreciate it. And I want to be a little bit more accessible to the fans. I want to show you my face. I want to be somebody who, when you're watching videos of somebody, it's you're having it just feels more personal, more of a connection there. So I want to have that, and I want to take input from what you guys would want from this. Now, I have ideas. This is not a like, oh, what should I do? Please tell me what to do. Don't worry, we're going to go over some stuff. I got some new stuff planned for us tonight, and you can tell me if you like it. You can tell me to fuck off if you don't like it. If you don't like it, I don't know why you're watching my YouTube videos anyway. But hopefully, I'm going to be able to do a few more of these every a couple of these a month. I'm hoping. I got to find time. It's hard to find the time to slot in when I need, like, where do you find 2 hours during the week? And I hate to complain about it, but I have two very good active Dungeons and Dragons groups, that one that plays on Wednesdays and ones that plays on Sundays. And like, I just really can't give up another weekend night to fucking around and not hanging out with my family. Which, like, look, my D&D nights are kind of later in the day, so it's not that bad. But it's hard when you're trying to spend time with your wife who you love and she wants to spend time with you, and you'd be like, no, I have to go and talk into a camera for an hour. So I'm finding a place to kind of slot these in, and they are going to be irregularly regular. In that, I mean, I am going to do at least 2 or 3 of these a month going forward. The release schedule, I can't guarantee, not yet. Not until I can find some kind of comfortable area to put this all into. So, as I said, I've got a few different things that I want to do on this show, a little bit different from the way that we were doing things last time. Now, last time I did news updates, and I would sometimes read from zines from the 1970s, the anti-war zines during the Vietnam War. And maybe, still do those, definitely. I'm just not going to lean as heavily on them because I'm kind of entering this I don't want to call it a renaissance because I'm 40. Like, it's kind of a, like, I've finally gotten over myself and realized that I should do the things that make me happy. And I do, like, the stickers and the patches and everything that we have in the store is great, but I want to create things myself too. So I have a lot of things that that art that I do that will be kind of going up in the store. I've already sold a couple of the pieces, and these are, and we'll go over them a little bit more in depth. But they're old signs. They kind of get a new life and turned into new things. So I have that. I also have been turning cigar boxes into dice rollers for you D&D people out there, which has been a really fun project to kind of learn and figure out. And really, that's what I'm wanting to do, is find these new, like, things that I can do with my hands, and I can do a couple of them, and I can get better and better as I go along. The first cigar box dice roller I made, I gave away to a friend because I made it, and I said I found all the places that I made mistakes here, but this is still a good one. This is my prototype. Pass it on to her. She's great. She's got a new boyfriend that is really into Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role playing games. So I gave her one and made all the boys jealous at game night for him. But I have a lot of other things that I want to do. So where I get these things, future plans, future art that I'm going to be doing as well. But also, there's going to be maybe some commentary on videos. specifically around the Ukraine and Russian war. Now, I am not ever going to be a let's watch Russians get blown up by close encounters with uh, the the drones. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to watch those. If you really want to watch shit like that, you can go to the combat footage subreddit. You can get all of that there. That's not going to be me. These are going to be videos that maybe partially that, but also if you remember years and years ago, I did a kind of a side by side while watching the Ghanan military parade where they have mechs. They're not good mechs; they're very shitty mechs, but they do have mechs, which is one step up from us in America. We don't have mechs. They keep talking about it. They keep wanting to give me an exoskeleton to carry heavy loads easier, but they never actually come forth with it. So, look, that's going to be a Japan thing anyway. Japan's going to make the first Gundam, and we're all going to have to bow down to them anyway. So that's kind of long way around, kind of what I'm doing. So please take these into consideration. Also, tell me other things that you might like as well. I will be releasing these as podcasts on the main feed, but if you are listening to this, understand I'm going to be showing things to the camera. I'm going to be showing videos. It's going to be a lot better for you if you're watching on the YouTube video. So the YouTube video will always be linked down in the bottom. You can click on that and you can watch. You can skip forward to the ones that the bits that you need more of a visual aid for. If you just really want to listen to my dulcet Midwest accent lull you to sleep, I can do that too. I'm here for whatever you need. If you need me to just talk for an hour about nothing so that you can fall asleep, that's fine. As long as you're paying $5 to the Patreon, I don't care what you do with the podcast. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the next segment. All right, let's do a haul video. I know this is what all the kids love doing, and to be honest, the kids have been loving doing this since I was a kid too. You get on your video and you show all the shit that you bought. So as I said, I'm doing a lot of art, and where I get a lot of the template, the base of what I'm doing is from a place called Savers. Savers is a secondhand store. It's like Goodwill, but it's a little pricier, but it's also a lot better maintained. So I can find usually a lot better things at Savers, but I still do kind of hit up Goodwill and everything. There's a Goodwill here that we have that we just call the bins, and that's where it's like the last chance Goodwill stop. They just wheel these giant bins in, and you buy shit by the pound basically. So clothes and books and anything that doesn't get picked up is gone. They get rid of it. So Goodwill always has like really good turnover. Savers not so much, but Savers is usually a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer, a little bit more brightly lit and things like that. So I get a lot of stuff from Savers. Now, earlier I had mentioned that I was making cigar box rollers. So, and the one that I gave to my friend is very much like this one that I have here, this red one. We found like 9 of these at Savers one day, and we picked them all up. So these are currently in the store if you want one. And so what I do is I get I kind of create a whole new inside here. So these are basically, I mean, cigar box humidors are all wood on the inside. There's not really anything very fancy about them. You would just have a blank wood here thing. Usually there's a sticker up here or the branding of whatever cigar. So this one was actually interesting because these had stickers on the front and on the inside that I took off. So these are going through their third life actually because they have been cigar boxes for 2 different companies. So what I do is I put this liner in, I put this nice little divider, I've got your dice in here, and to spice it up a little bit, this is all whiteboard up here and a little dry erase marker for you. So if you're like me and you need to constantly keep notes but not necessarily want to keep having to write things on your character sheet and erase things and all that, you've got a whiteboard in here with the little thing right there. So these are very quick and very easy ones. Like I said, these are the first ones that I started making. These were my they were my foundational find for doing what I would continue to do because I have much more complicated pieces already. Friend of the show, Jack Murphy, who has his own podcast, he sent me a whole bunch of cigar boxes because he plays Dungeons and Dragons and he smokes cigars. and I sent him back one that is actually a double decker. Some of these are pretty thick and have a little bit of space to them, so you can make them double deckers. So you can have a rolling plane on top, and then you can take that out, and you can have storage underneath. A lot of them still have the dry erase boards that are in there as well. I'm playing around with a lot of different stuff. So if you're kind of nerdy and you think that you might like something, you can fit your dice in it. I have one piece actually. It's called the Game Masters box because it was an old silverware drawer holder. So I had to tear and clean all the stuff. I gotta tell you, tearing those things up, like the things that all your like really nice silverware that your mom or your grandmother wouldn't let you bring out, or only came out when Fancy Company was around. Though you sometimes I find those boxes at the secondhand store, and just having to tear all that stuff out, sand it all down, and refinish everything. It's a pain in the ass, but I'm getting faster and better at it, so it's moving along very nicely. But the GM box is really nice because it's the same thing. It's got a huge whiteboard on the top, a much larger rolling field because I know the Game Masters usually got to roll a lot of different dice, but it also has a pull-out drawer on the bottom. And the pull-out drawer is big enough that you can put your character sheets in there. You can put extra dry erase markers. You can put like a source book in there too, as long as it's not some like gigantic Delta Green book, and you're just playing normal 5e or something. You can fit a decent sized book in there. I have my for photos. The only source book that I own right now is uh, Call of Cthulhu 6, I think, whatever the 6th version is, and they're not on 6 anymore. So I just have a book that I throw in there to kind of show that yes, it can fit in there. So if you're doing in-person Dungeons and Dragons, and I hope that you are, if you have that opportunity and you're looking for something to bring your dice in, make it look really nice, and then when you roll the dice and go all over the fucking table, that's what I always hate. Sometimes when you go and you're playing on a table that doesn't have any kind of covering on it, so it's like just the hard surface of the table, those dice will bounce everywhere. So I like having this. Not only does it keep it within the area here, but this is a thick material that I put in here that really deadens the sound, so you don't have that like hollow wood sound on it. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some dice rolls for you on it. So, a couple of those, and I'm going to have more of them because I have a shitload of these all around in my basement. Because there's the ones that Jack sent me. There's other ones that I have gotten from Savers, and I just keep finding more and more. So the next thing that I want to show you kind of goes along with this, and this was a really fantastic find here. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a box that says Holy Bible, and when you open the box up, you have space for a King James Bible in there, and there's a picture of Jesus. White Jesus is here to watch your dice roll. So, interesting thing that we found out about this, because I've already taken them out, but there were like little placards that were in here, just little paper ones that were taped in there with double-sided tape. It was a we're sorry for your loss, but it was from a brotherhood of IBEW, but it was before it was the IBEW. Back before it was IBEW, it was just Brotherhood something. I don't know, but these are old. And here's what we can find out, because on the back, I have two of these too. So I have this one that says Holy Bible, and I have another one that is kind of a similar design. But if you look at the back of them, this little insignia, you probably can't see it very well. But on the other one, this insignia tells you that this is Union made. And what we can kind of so, and you can buy these online. Like, I found where you can buy these online. I originally thought these were very Catholic coded, because Catholics really like to give, like, when somebody passes, they have prayer cards that they give out, and so this kind of like was tickling me in that, like, it's kind of a prayer card thing, but like, this is way bigger, and this is a sorry for your loss. Here's a Bible. Rather than the prayer cards. I think the prayer cards are nice because they're small. You can collect them. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room. This thing's really big. So what we have been best able to figure out is that these were probably from possibly Depression era. When not these are not from that time, but this concept. because because carpenters were out of work. The unions needed something to do, so they're like, "Hey, you carpenters, knock these together for us. We can turn them into these boxes. We can give them away." So it's kind of a make work thing. But these are still made. They are still union made too. So if you really want to get some of these, look up Bible box, and you will find that. But like I said, I have two of these, so these are going to become holy rollers. We're gonna put the rolling area in here. I will keep Jesus so that Jesus can watch over. It's gonna be kind of a kind of awkward. He's gonna be side eyeing it, but if you really want to open it up like that, I'll put the dice down here so you can really display, show off to everybody your Jesus. So two of those. Watch for holy rollers in the store soonish. Next. So this is kind of a part of, as I was telling you, I find art and I give it a new life. So this is a uh, gather here with grateful hearts. This is a, you can see it's got little feet on it. So you can hang this up on your wall, or it can be kind of like a little thing you put there and you can put stuff on top of it. So this is MDF, cheap. These things are not, they're cheaply made. Generally, you buy these things this in Bansco Enterprise Limited if you want to look it up. But I always find all kinds of stuff like this. A lot of stuff from Michaels, because Michaels and Joanne will sell blanks. Like here's unfinished wood circle that you can put whatever you want on it. So a lot of times they'll I'll get a lot of stuff from there. But this is a little bit more purpose built. These legs are glued on. I can tell that they're glued because the glue is really badly done and sticking out on the sides there. But that's okay. You know what? The feet aren't going anywhere. So this one, I really have. I also have like those little kits that you can buy that you can turn anything into a clock, where it's just basically the hands and it's got a battery pack on the inside, and you just gotta put a hole somewhere and then stick it through, tie it down, or screw it down, and you've got a clock. So perfect wall clock. I think this would be something that could hang up somewhere. I haven't come up with an idea for it yet, though. So this is a good probably 14 inches diameter here. If you've got an idea, shoot me down in the comments. Let me know what you think. A good kind of painting or something like that. When I look these up, like a lot of wall clocks now are like records that get cut into some kind of landscape. If it's a Star Wars one, Star Wars things cut like cutting the vinyl itself. So I don't see a lot of this stuff at the moment, which is why I like doing this, because I've never seen a clock made out of something like this, so I want to do that. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do. So my basic process, though, is sand it all down, hit it with a coat of, depending on what I'm going to do, either I hit it with a base coat of white or black, and then I will break out my Cricut. I'm a man with a Cricut, and I love it, and I will create a stencil of whatever it is and put it down, paint and everything. Pull it off, put the thing in there. So I don't know. Again, please, if you have ideas, let me know. So this is another future dice roller, but this one might stay mine. So this is a Napoleon box. This is a jewelry box originally, and you can this swank. This isn't something like, oh, what a find. This is made in like the '60s or something. There's nothing special about this. It's not even made out of particularly nice materials or anything. The insides were absolute garbage. I've cleaned them out at this point, but you can still see there's a lot of glue in here that I can kind of cut out, but it's easier to sand. So, but my plan for this one is I'm gonna do like a French tricolor down here on the rolling base, and then up here I'm gonna have that famous painting of Napoleon crossing the Alps, and put some kind of quote over here maybe. We'll see. We'll see what I go for, but I thought my wife found this one, and she's just like, well, obviously I have to get this because it says, Emperor Napoleon on it. But it was a jewelry box for all of your little knickknacks. But soon it's going to be my my French roller, and I have in the past threatened Joe and Carrie to do some kind of uh, French themed, Napoleonic era role playing game. Unfortunately, the only one that I can find that is that's already built for Napoleonic times is called Beat to Quarters, but it uses a card system instead of dice, and I don't. Look, I'm not gonna say that like you can't innovate and you can't do new things, but this old dog doesn't want to learn new tricks. I know how to roll dice and add numbers. All right, that's what I want to do. Now this rid of the Napoleon one here. There you go. This is another thing that we picked up from Savers. Yep, Savers got the Savers price tag on it. Little Sweet Dreams one, very nice. Hang it up in your child's nursery. So our pricing for this one started at $14.99 from Home Goods. If you're a man and you don't know what Home Goods is, or if you're a woman and you don't and you haven't entered this era of home decor in your life, it's a home decor store. Compare. See, so here's our pricing fall downs here. So compare at $25 is what Home Goods is saying, but they're selling it for $14.99. Now, this went to Savers and got farmed out $5.99. Now, I don't ever buy anything at Savers without a coupon because I'm not crazy. Some of this stuff is a little overpriced. So on Wednesdays, military. So this is 25% off that I got on this. So $6, 25% off. You get an extra dollar off of that. So dollar and plus. I'm not going to do the math in my head right now. But I like this because it's got this really nice border on it. I actually posted a picture of kind of what I am planning on doing this one. If you've been following me long enough, you know that I have this like obsession with the Killdozer. In 2004, this crazy man named Marv Heemeyer, and he lost his shit at the local government and spent 18 months secretly armoring a massive bulldozer, and then went and just tore shit up all over the place in Colorado, in Granby, Colorado. So, and every time I post about Killdozer, I get somebody who's like, Marv Heemeyer was an asshole. He was an asshole. He was a shithead. He was trying to kill people. Very luckily, he didn't, and the only person who died was himself by his own hands. Fuck him. But he did create the Killdozer. So, we got to have something. We celebrate the drive of the man, not the man himself, I guess, right? So this is going to be, again, sanded down. We'll keep this middle, the really nice kind of fake worn edges on this one. Do a white background on it, and then put my stenciling down on that. So we also get books. Hold on. So we have a little free library in front of our house, and we fill it up with books from Savers. It's where we get our books from. So we do occasionally get ones for ourselves. We found this one, The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology by Russell Hope Robbins. And I looked this one up, and this is from original copyright 1969. So back when they really fucking believed in a lot of that shit. But this is really, this is a very in-depth encyclopedia about witchcraft and demonology. The Devil's Mark. What is the Devil's Mark? You can look that up. Exorcism. They got a whole lot of stuff on exorcism. Edward Fairfax, an Elizabethan gentleman, Fewstone scholar and translator of Tasso, persisted in charging 6 women living in the forests of Knaresborough with bewitching his children with fits and visions. Though the women were released at the York Assizes, Fairfax brought them to trial. The justices allowed them to escape since the evidence reached not to the point of the statute. So you can get a lot of stuff on here. So looking forward to a little light bedtime reading on that one. Now, I am going to say that there are going to be things that I am going to pick up and actually put into the store as well. I'm doing a revamp of the store. We're moving over to Shopify, a whole lot of other things going on in the backgrounds. But the plan is to have like the podcast attic section where all these, fun like coffee mugs that I found. Like I found a McDonnell Douglas Desert Storm coffee mug for the AH-64 Apache. It's from 1991. I'm not going to find them anywhere else other than like eBay, very overpriced. when I find these things for like, it's not much, $4 or $5, I have no problem turning around and selling them for like 10 or 15. It, that covers my shipping and makes me a little profit on it. So there will be that section. Sometimes books will go in there. Maybe this one will, but I had to pick this one up. Triumph in the Deserts, the challenge fighting the legacy of the Gulf War, commemorative photo history of the Gulf War. So I'm not going to get into the politics of the Gulf War or any wars in any Gulfs that we do, but I am a big fan of photo books, and especially war photo books from wars that I didn't get to partake in. Man, look at that! Look at those chocolate chips, man. Oh God, I'm so I don't know what a chocolate chip camo weeb would be, but that's me right there. So this is a really great book that I'm looking forward to going through. Just because I love history, and this is one of those like not so distant kind of wars that we did, where the people who fought in it are still alive and still like youngish, 50s, but not like World War II, where it's like we've got a couple 100-year-old guys hanging out and that's it. All right, and a couple of other things I'll show you. Two more frames here. Let's see. This is wood decor from Place and Time, Funhouse Craft. So these are $10 right here, generally, but I got them for $3 a piece. Again, though, really easy ones to put. Like a one that's really popular that I do is the "In This House We Believe This Is Not a Place of Honor. No Great Deeds Were Done Here." That whole I've made a couple of those, so I'll probably do that with these because that's a really easy one to throw on down there. And finally, I got a little something. I don't know if I'm going to give this to my dad or if I'm going to keep it myself. All right, so what else I have is this Wooden City mechanical model. My dad really likes putting these together. He had like a Marble Run one that he did. But look at this clock. Look at this clock that they've got there. And I got this for $8, and again 25% off, so $6 I got this for. And these are just really fun little puttery. This is like a total dad. Like every once in a while I see when I'm at Joanne with my wife, when I'm at Michael's, or anywhere that sells models, I will see models, and I get a little itch because I put together a lot of models when I was a kid. I put together a couple of battleships. I put together an A-10 Warthog, a B-2 bomber, I think is what now, but yeah, the B-2, the one with the big wingspan, I think. So I put together a lot of really cool models when I was younger. I don't do that anymore. Again, I don't really have time to putter. I'm trying to find time to put this in. So having that like putter time of I can kind of do that. I don't have it, and like my concern is I'm going to start this and I'm not going to finish it. Much like the Technic Hilux that I've got going on that I'm a quarter of the way through that I need to get back to. You can put if you want one, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you go over to doomer.shop, you'll see he's got those over there. That's where I bought it from, and I've been slowly putting it together. But it's just finding time. It's not that it's hard and that I can't do it. It's just I got to find time. And when I do find a free hour somewhere, I don't necessarily use it to do things like that. So this is not what we got tonight. This is not everything we got tonight. This is things that we have kind of picked up over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to, in future episodes, show you updates. I'm hoping, so the Napoleon box, what I'm waiting for on that is I want my wife to get me some kind of, for the fabric on the inside, I don't have anything that's light colored. I only have dark colors. So I need like a white vinyl that I can paint, so I can do the French tricolors in it. But all the rest of it is all it's macrame. No, not macrame. Decoupage, where you paint it onto the thing. So I'll have updates for that. We'll see if that goes in the store. We'll see if I hold on to it. But I do have a lot of these things will be going in the store once they're done. I'm looking forward to working on both of these this weekend and get these up in the store. I promise that I am going to have this will come out. I'm not going to put these into the store and let them sell out because I only have 2 of them, and then release this and give you guys all a bummer. So don't worry, they will not be in the store. I haven't really done anything with them yet either. Like I've taken the little things out there, but I haven't really dug into these yet, and I'm gonna have to put little hinges in it maybe, or maybe I'll just keep it like that. I don't know. Much to think about. All right, let's go ahead and go over to our next segment. All right, we're back. So let's talk about some combat videos. Now, as I said before, I'm not going to show you blowing up bodies. I don't want to do that. We're not going to do that. I'm not always going to be showing combat footage. Maybe there'll be something else out there. You know how the TikTokers like to do the little Stitch thing? I'm going to do that, but with OBS and put it on YouTube because I do not have TikTok brain. I've managed to not get stuck inside of TikTok brain. So where all the cuts and everything like that. No, I can't do that. So instead of all that, what we've got is watching some videos and kind of talking about some of them. So the first one that we're going to talk about here, and maybe you've seen this one, is the Bradley versus the BTR. So, little backstory on some of these vehicles here. The M2 Bradley is a American infantry fighting vehicle. It is meant to be able to get the troopies that can climb into it, get them to whatever point so the troopies can get out. Also provide armor because it's an armored vehicle, and suppressive fire. It's got a 25 millimeter chain gun on it. It's a big gun. It goes thump, 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 and things blow up. Now, infantry fighting vehicle, a lot of times people will look at these and call it a tank. The Bradley is one that's really hard to say that because it has wheels. It doesn't have treads, but it is still a armored vehicle with a big gun on it, but it's not technically a tank. Because the tank cannot get your people from one place to another. It can only move the tank crew itself. Nobody else can get in. The movie Pentagon Wars is about the production, the design, and everything of the Bradley, the M2 Bradley. It is a comedy movie, but it is it is a true telling of the Bradley fighting vehicle through its development in the I can't remember how far it went back, like 60s, 70s or so, 80s. There's always this desire to have a better armored fighting vehicle. You need something that can get, personnel onto the field, but get them there in something that can, protect them. So we use the Bradleys. I love the Bradleys. I know that they were Bradleys. We also have Strykers, which are also infantry fighting vehicles, I believe. Somebody might correct me on that one, but infantry fighting vehicles is really what they still kind of fall in. Strykers are big. They are also wheeled, and they have big guns on them as well. So, kind of the same thing. It's not a tank. To get a tank, like a tank main gun into battle, it has to be on a tank. So these are smaller, a little bit faster, a little bit more low profile. They're not as heavily armored as a tank would be. They're not as heavily armed. Excuse me. They're not as heavily armed as a tank, but they are still great if you need some kind of suppressive fire, if you need to put rounds on a building so that to kind of soften it up before the little troopies run out from outside and go into the building. They're great. I have a lot of use cases, and I was kind of looking into some of the doctrine for the Bradley, and sorry again to side note this doctrine is how we do things with the kind of the equipment that we have. So if you have a Bradley book that tells you how to do the things on the Bradley, how to turn it on, how to use the window wipers, how to mount a gun up to it, they all have instruction booklets on how to operate the machine. Everything in the Army comes with an instruction booklet. Some of them are just bigger than others. So there is an instruction booklet, but that's not doctrine. Doctrine is how we use these arms in combat. And none of this stuff is hard to come by. You can find all of this stuff free online. And it's not because, it's, we're fine. We'll tell you all of our secrets. We literally have to, because you have to teach these things to tankers. And tankers are 18-year-old dipshits who are going to, go out and talk about all the cool shit they've learned about tanks and how to use tanks. I was never a tanker, and I would not have known about the concept of shoot and scoot, where you shoot, but the problem is when you shoot, everybody now knows where the fuck you are, so you gotta scoot, you gotta move away. You gotta shoot and then move because they're dialing in on you immediately as soon as your main gun goes off. So that is doctrine for tank firing under certain circumstances, I'm sure. Again, I'm going to get yelled at by a tanker one way or another talking about all of this. So the doctrine for the M2 Bradley is usually working in tandem, having 2 or 3 of them working together that can support each other and also bring in a platoon size element. A small platoon, but a platoon. Now, Ukrainians don't really have that luxury to base their things off of our doctrine, because like I said, we design this thing and then we say, here's how you use it, and then that's how we use it. And sometimes there's a little bit of changing on the battlefield as the situation warrants. Of course, people take doctrine and flip it on its head, and depending on the situations on the battlefield. So the doctrine is out the window, because now you've got Bradley fighting vehicles that are just like, sometimes we got a 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 a tank, or sometimes we just have to do this shit, which is drive towards a BTR playing chicken with them. It's not really in the doctrine, but we are really getting to see how well the Bradley operates under combat conditions, and this has always been a thing that, like, it's hard. It's a hard square to circle, right? Where I hate war. I don't want war, because the people that are hurt by war are people who want nothing to do with it. The civilians are always the worst hurt, whether that be invading armies, whether that be famine, whether that be loss of infrastructure. The civilians get killed the most. More civilians die than usually the combatants on the battlefields. And the civilians, they're always getting the short end of the stick. So I hate war. At the same time, I love to see how well these things, I like to see them be good at their jobs. And at least with Ukraine versus Russia, we have kind of a clear good and evil. Like, I don't know if you are first time here, but we are not really pro-Russia here. Certainly, I have an affinity for the Soviet Union, but in that I like its culture, not that I think that we should all be Stalinists. Nothing like that. So at least here, when we get to watch a BTR get fucked up by an M2 Bradley, we're watching some bad guys get hit. So let's go ahead and expand this out so you can watch the whole thing. Now, I'm sure that probably a lot of you have watched this. It was making the rounds, right? It was making the rounds all over Twitter and Instagram and things like that. So if you follow any of those OSINTs or any like kind of military connected accounts, you probably saw this. Now, what we have here, what you see on the screen, is a Russian BTR. Now, BTR, I couldn't tell you what it stands for because it's Russian, and I can't pronounce it, but it's basically boils down to armored car. It's an armored car that does armored car stuff. It's kind of in the same, it's a armored infantry fighting vehicle. So it is their version of the Bradley or the Stryker or the M1113s. Any of those things that, like, an armored thing to get troops into battle, that's what the BTR is. So, and I don't say that to be reductive of, like, it's just an armored car. The BT series is a series of military vehicles that are created by Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine makes them too. So there are Ukrainian BTRs as well out there. So we've got our BTR coming in hot here, and so as it says, it's showing a Bradley, an M2 Bradley that was given to the Ukrainians by America. Can't think of a better thing. I mean, like, maybe F-22s, we give them those, but for the ground-to-ground stuff, man, you really can't beat a Bradley fighting vehicle. So you've already got, if you take a close look here, you've already got some guys kind of falling off. I'm going to roll out, like, which would be my, like, I don't know if these guys are dying. Most likely, they're saying, I'm the fuck out of here, because the biggest target on the battlefield right now is the BTR. And if they are not in the BTR, that means they're secondary targets, which means that they have a chance of getting the fuck away and maybe running into the field and not getting their shit rocked. So a couple guys kind of jump ship here on the BTR. And you can also see this is one that has one of the little cope cages up on top. Love a good cope cage. A little chain link fence to put up on the top because that's going to stop a fucking javelin missile from dropping on your head and wrecking all of your shit. Javelin missiles, man, fantastic tank busters. It's also another thing. It's like, I mean, if I'd love to see them in action. I'd love to see how well they work at doing something, and at least we get to watch some shitty guys get fucked up doing it. So here comes our intrepid heroes pretty soon. So you can see the BTR popping off rounds. And now you've got the Bradley down here in your bottom left. So you saw, if we go back a little bit, you're going to see some. So you can see the flashes of the forward gun on the BTR shooting. But I think earlier, if we go even further back, the sparks that come off of it is it getting hit first. So that is the chain gun hitting it, and then that is them trying to respond. So you got a couple guys who beat feet and got the fuck out of there. Here comes the Bradley up here, coming through, working that chain gun on the top. I've never seen this before. Honestly, like this head-to-head kind of shit. And this is this war is so horrifying in like what it is evolved to. Like, you know, I mentioned the drones earlier. Like, just you just hanging out and then just like a fucking AliExpress drone buzzes over and drops a grenade in your lap. Like, it's shit that happens these days. Or the drones like chasing people and you get the last frightened look before the thing detonates on them. It's a messed up war that we've got going on here. And this right here, this is like, you know, in theory, this is not supposed to be anything that you do with either of these vehicles, but the Russians have no doctrine whatsoever. Like, Russians, they are generally shoving people into tanks who don't know what to do with tanks, and their only instruction is, here's how to make it go, here's how to shoot, especially if they're conscripts. And look, I'm being reductive. I know that they go through some training, but they don't go through like the doctrine stuff that our tankers go through. Like, if I would trust my, you know, cracked out, you know, Zin sucking, monster drinking 19-year-old tanker way more than a Russian one, because my guy at least knows the concept of shoot and scoot, or knows, you know, how to use these things properly and in tandem with other people. But again, these guys are, you know, sometimes all you got's one Bradley, so we get to see kind of what that does, and what that does is fuck shit up. So you can see that the BTR is still trying to pop off some rounds. He's coming. More guys getting the fuck out of there. That guy is done, donezo. And I don't know if this is the whole thing was just not it was completely disabled and just rolling, or if that's just ghost riding at that point, because you can see some guys running around up top there. As this thing, you know, up here, some guys running. Those were dudes on the BTR, and they're, you know, getting the fuck out of there. I feel like everybody bailed and just ghost riding the whip of the BTR there. And there it goes, running over some trees and parking to a stop. So this. Yeah, let's watch it in its full glory. Look at him go. Ivan's out. He's out. He's not wanting any part of this. There's your Bradley. There's your chain gun going off. Like, and the crazy thing is that the Bradley got all the first hits in, and I don't even know if the BTR got anything. You can still see it shooting wildly after they pass. So. Yeah, those guys don't, not well trained, or probably just freaking the fuck out too. Like I would be as well. But there's a lot of other great Bradley vehicles that have videos that have come out as well. There was a really good one of a Bradley really laying into, I think, like a T-62, which is pretty wild. That's a tank, and Bradleys are not supposed to be able to necessarily penetrate tank armor. But if it's Soviet tank, sometimes you find a way. So take a look for some of those. If you've got any videos that you think I should watch and comment on, like this one, send them to me. Sergeant Joker at hellofawaydie.com, or just comment down here in the comments section and let me know. I really I kind of like doing this, but I don't want to be a combat footage guy. I don't want to be a the guy who does OSINT stuff. And I have no real problem with the open source intelligence accounts, because I'm not going to dig around on Telegram for them, but just take anything that they say with a grain of salt sometimes. There were a lot of OSINT accounts that were saying that the Houthis had destroyed an aircraft carrier, which absolutely did not happen. Look, Houthis, I understand what you're doing, but you're not taking down an aircraft carrier. Not with your little short of ship one. So that has been our video watching series. I think that's going to go ahead and do it for me for this one, though. I'm not going to do a news update, but I will talk about some of the stuff that we have coming out. As all the things that I showed you in the store, some of those are going to be in the store. I am not necessarily getting away completely from doing patches and stickers. I'm actually going to be doing t-shirts soon. So I'm going to have more designs and have more things happening, but that's all part of my migration over to Shopify and everything. And it's just going to take me a little bit of time to do that. So, but all of that's going to be coming soon. Got some good episodes, some good bonus episodes that came out this past month. I did a cruise special, not cruising in the rest stop bathroom kind of cruising, but getting on the big boats. I did an episode with that with the Zoo Crew a couple of years ago, and I wanted to do a new one and re-up the cruises that you can go on. So everything from the Flogging Molly and 311 cruise to swingers cruises, if you're into that, and Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop at Sea, if you want to listen to that. That's over on the Patreon, $5 a month. Also, Deadliest Warrior. The Deadliest Warrior episode should be recorded and out by next week. Sorry. Probably not by the time this is out, because I'm not recording for another couple of days. But if you have not been on the Patreon and you're wondering what I'm talking about, every month I have been watching an episode of Deadliest Warrior with a rotation of recurring guests. So some people from other podcasts. The next one that I have is going to feature the Greg, and I can only think of his Twitter name off the top of my head, SLC Hunk, over on the Brigham Young podcast. So I'm going to bring them on to talk about an episode. I've had a lot of other people on. I think we're coming up on episode 5. So if you really love that, if you're really yearning for that mid-aughts or that 2009, that's when we figured it came out. Spike TV, back when we finally had a TV for men. We don't have TV for men anymore because of woke. Also because of ratings, apparently. But so that episode's coming out, but I've got plenty of episodes of those. Like I said, I've done about 4 of them already, so the 5th one's going to be coming out, and there's going to be a new one every month. So every month for bonus episodes, I don't want to always rely on watching something and asking you to watch something or listen to me talk about something that I watched, because I don't know, the let's comment on consuming media is fine. I'm not against it overall, but I do not want it to be the only thing I do. So that's why I have the cruise episode that came out. The one before that was an advice one for Ask the Zoo Crew, and I've done advice ones in the past before, especially ones where I go out and find the craziest Dear Abby questions, and then I make Joe and Carrie try to answer them. So that's that's all on our bonus stuff. $5 a month gets you access to all of it. Coming up on 8 years of content that you would get access to, which is a lot. I understand. And I'm not saying you got to go all the way back, but understand that there is going to be a lot of new stuff coming out. There's going to be more of these episodes. I'm going to try to engage the Patreon a little bit more as well. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you get access to our Discord that we share with Lions Led by Donkeys. You're going to get a chance to vote because I'm also trying to do a once a month or every other month, do a Zoo Crew Watches where we let the Patreons vote on a movie for us to watch, then we'll watch it and talk about it. The last one we did was Predator, a movie that I had never seen before. I have a big blank space with a lot of the excuse me, the old action movies from the 80s. My dad didn't watch those movies, so I didn't watch those movies. So but anyway, that's that's on the Patreon as well. And as I said, a lot of other good stuff. You're going to get early access to the interview stuff as well. I have one coming out with Steve Bannon. I try to do interview episodes a couple of times a month, once or twice a month. Usually I'm bringing on some rotating crop of journalists to talk about some of their latest articles. Steve and I talked about reporting, issues with reporting in daycare centers on federal on military bases. So it's kind of a heavy. It's not too heavy, but it's a really important piece that he worked on. I wanted to highlight and talk about, but those come out early on the Patreon and then come out on the free feed about a week later. So you will get early access stuff. So you're gonna get all kinds of stuff, and you're gonna get discount codes and things like that as well. So join up for the Patreon. Even if you join up for like free, even if you just sign up, I put out free stuff as well, just to keep you guys engaged and keep you guys here and talking about things. So let me know. As I said, if there's anything that you want to see here, if there's anything that you want me to change, bring back, do more of, let me know down in the comments. I am ready to really tackle this again, and I don't grow the YouTube, sure, but also just have something alternative and have something different. I don't want to do the same thing, constantly. The podcast has changed a lot in the last 8 years and a lot of times, not, just like it was one way and now it's another. It's changed a lot over the years. So, especially the further away from our military service that myself and Nate have gotten. I was still in the Army when this podcast started. So there's a lot going on there. So sign up for the Patreon. Tell me what you want. Let me know what you like, and we will try to make it happen for you. But as always, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.